Hi, it's Pearl, and I'm in this beautiful place in Bordeaux. It's a lovely park. I found a place to stay near the airport, absolutely gorgeous. And I just wanted to talk today about pitfalls. It's something I've been thinking about. I thought I'd come to a beautiful place to talk about this. Now, we often use the word pitfall as kind of like da 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 in business or anything, but really, if you think about the word, it's kind of awful. Because you imagine it's like a beautiful ground, covered in grass, and you're walking along tum tum, everything's going all right, and then suddenly you fall through the grass, whatever's covering it, and you go and you fall into a pit with like sticks coming up, and that's what a pitfall really is. So when you think about it like that, when you fall, it goes like, and you have like a stick coming through you, which is kind of gross and a bit dark. But I wanted to talk about that because sometimes in life you have a moment that is a pitfall, and you're walking along, you think everything's okay, and something happens, and it's like that. And I had a moment meeting somebody like that the other day who just had a terrible thing happen to her, and she was clearly in shock, because that's the first thing, shock. I can't believe this, and this terrible pain. Why did this happen? Why did this happen to me? What the hell's going on? And it's really, really tough in that moment when, we talk about all these things, all the things I've been studying, like forgiveness and compassion and reconciliation, all these things. But in that moment, you have to honor the moment. And so for me, this happened to me recently. I had this, and it really felt physically and emotionally as if that. So there's a lot of stuff we can do, and all I can say is what I was saying to this girl who was having this awful moment. And apart from giving her lots of hugs, the things I would say to her is, the first thing is self-compassion, to have compassion for what we're going through, and to stop the blaming, like why, I did something wrong. I made a mistake. Of course, you probably made a mistake in the sense of maybe saying the wrong thing or going the wrong way or trusting the wrong person. But don't start with the blame, okay? Don't start with the blame. Yes, there are lessons to be learned, but that's not, for me, that's not a place to start. For me, we start with self-compassion and saying, hey, to love ourselves and say, what do I need to get me out of this pit? What do I need to start this healing of the physical and the emotional and often physical pain that we're in it right now? And then when we can feel self-compassion and we can feel, to forgive ourselves for the mistake that we've made, then we can open it up and have compassion for other people going through similar things. And then if we're lucky and we continue to practice, we can have compassion and forgiveness for the person who maybe did this to us. And we can work from there and go deeper into why this is happening to us, why this is happening on a global scale. But for me, I just wanted to say this, when we have those beautiful practices and this love and meditation, everything there is, we can also use it in a bad way. We can use it to punish ourselves for not always being in a state of complete peace and love. And, when we have those emotions, those dark emotions about ourselves and other people, it's tough really sometimes. So I would say, when there's a pitfall, it's a pitfall. You fell in a pit and something poked you in the chest. It really hurts. And it's okay to stay in that moment and say, hey, to start with, let me love myself. Let me help myself out of this pit before I start trying to heal the rest of the world. And just lots of hugs as well. And know that, many of us have been there. And, but we get out of the pitfall eventually. I hope that helps. If not, maybe I'll do this again, okay? Send me questions, put questions on my YouTube, okay? And I'll see if I can do a better job if you tell me what didn't work for you, all right? I'm still a beginner at teaching this stuff. I hope you have a beautiful day and feel that wonderful joy and self-compassion and love for yourself, because for me, a lot of it comes from there. When we can feel self-compassion and love, it gets a lot easier and it all gets good, okay? Lots of